And welcome back, and we're on the air on YouTube, guys, and this is Monday Night Raw Review, episode 57, and this is the Contenders Corner podcast, yet again, to bring you, here on YouTube, another wrestling review. And here we talk everything that is wrestling. So yes, guys, please, if you are new to our channel, and you are a new active viewer on here, then please like, share, subscribe, and support us here on YouTube. And again, guys, we are back here, but this time, guys, we are here to showcase our own promotions, and that is our t-shirts, guys. This is our Contenders Corner podcast t-shirt. Let's talk wrestling, and we will be doing that today, guys. We will be doing that indeed. Last night did kick off, guys, and there is there's a lot to discuss. It was not one of the best shows, guys, but I think Charlotte Flair was the only segment that was worth talking about on Raw. But we'll get to that. We'll get to that as the show goes on. But anyway, Shelton Benjamin and Cedric Alexander faced Eric and Tbar in a rematch from their encounter on last week's show. Benjamin and Eric started for their team. Surprisingly, Benjamin overpowered the Viking and brought Alexander for a double team. The former members of the Hurt Business maintained control with quick tags to keep themselves fresh. Eric uncorked a huge right hand so he could tag in Tbar. The big man missed a splash and allowed Alexander and Benjamin to regain the upper hand almost immediately. A few moments later, the Viking Raiders were able to turn things around and get the win with the Viking experience. And I'm going to give this here on the Contenders Corner podcast a Contenders Corner match rating, a 2.5 out of 5. And then we go into the Randy Orton versus Riddle. And they did a promo backstage. And Randy Orton was interrupted by Riddle. Orton immediately went to Adam Pearce and demanded a match despite having no idea who Riddle was. The Viper took control, but when he went for a suplex, Riddle countered into a sleeper. Orton pulled him off his back by his hair. Riddle went right back to the same hold, so Orton backed him into the corner. Riddle went for it for a third time. The Legend Killer dropped onto his back to break the hold, but Riddle grabbed him a fourth time. Riddle forced Orton to roll out of the ring. Orton caught Riddle's kick from the apron and tripped him before dropping him onto the announce table. There was a lot of action, guys, from both ends, and the Bro was able to avoid the RKO and rolled Orton for the upset win. And Orton single-handedly made the backstage segments with Riddle funny. His reaction to the scooter and pretending not to know who Riddle was when he requested the match was legitimately hilarious. The match they had ended up being highly entertaining. The Viper controlled most of the action, but when Riddle had the upper hand, he made the most of it. The Viper has reached the point in his career where he can do more good getting people over. He might be the only person who can make a feud with Riddle entertaining for everyone, even the people who dislike the Bro. They had good chemistry both in the ring and opposite personalities backstage. If this feud continues, it should only get better from here. And again, it was quite okay. I'll give the match a 3 out of 5, guys, on the Contenders Corner match rating. And that's it, guys. And then we go into Lana, Naomi versus Shayna Baszler and Nia Jax. Naomi started off this tag team match against Nia Jax. She hit a few kicks before tagging in Lana. Jax overpowered both women when they went for a double Irish whip, but Neon Warriors managed to keep her under control with quick tags and a few double team moves. They went for a suplex and Jax ended up suplexing both of them instead. Shayna Baszler tagged in and leveled Lana for a 2 count. Mandy Rose and Donna Brooke came out and played a few embarrassing clips of Jax as a distraction. Jax angrily ignored a tag from baslzer and went after Rose and Brooke, leaving her partner high and dry, and Naomi got the tag and hit a double face buster with Lana for the win. And I'm going to give this a match rating here on the Contenders Corner, a 1 out of 5. And then we have Elias versus Kofi Kingston. Elias and Jackson Ryker were back for another performance, but once again the New Day interrupted them. This time Xavier Woods was playing bass instead of a trombone. Elias hit Kofi Kingston with a running knee. As soon as the bell rang for a quick 2 count, he stayed on the former WWE champion and grounded him with strikes. Woods distracted him with some bass notes so Kingston could take control. Elias dropped him across the top rope to stop him in his tracks. Kingston recovered and hit a flying crossbody for a near fall. They screwed up the SOS, but eventually hit it for a close 2 count. Elias countered the Hurricanrana and hit a flying elbow drop for the clean win. And again, this is a big win for Elias. He gets the win on Kofi Kingston. A good win for Elias here. It was good action. It was entertaining from both ends. It should have been a bit longer, but again, we'll give this on the Contenders Corner match rating a 3 out of 5. Drew McIntyre and Braun Strowman versus Mace and Tbar. And Drew McIntyre came to the ring as soon as the show started to call out MVP for orchestrating an attack on him last week. With Tbar and Mace, it didn't take long for MVP to come out for a response. He said McIntyre was just mad that Bobby Lashley put him out at WrestleMania 37 and told him to expect the unexpected. MVP and said Mace and Tbar are not associated with the Hurt Business, but McIntyre did not believe him. The Scottish Warrior approached MVP, but before he reached MVP, Mace and Tbar attacked him again. They hit a double choke slam as MVP looked on. They walked right past him on the ramp as they headed to the back. After a break, McIntyre asked Pierce to book a fight against Mace and Tbar. The handicap match got started at the top of the third hour. McIntyre went right after Tbar and brought him to a neutral corner to beat him down. Tbar made the tag and Mace nailed a huge uppercut for a 2 count. The former Retribution members started to dominate the former WWE champion. McIntyre hit a spinebuster for a 2 count as he started to rally. Mace and Tbar double teamed him until the ref called for the bell. That is when Braun Strowman's music hit and he came out to make the save. After a break, we returned to see this turn into a tag team match. McIntyre smiled as the Monster Men destroyed Mace. Eventually, Mace and Tbar took the big man down. McIntyre tagged in and ripped Mace's mask off. He used it as a weapon against Mace and got himself disqualified. Strowman ripped off T-Bar's mask before they left. So again, Mace and Tbar win by disqualification here because of McIntyre ripping off Mace's mask and using it as a weapon. Again, this was a good match, guys. A good match. I'll give this a 3.7 out of 5. It was what it was. It was back to back. We saw a good segment with MVP and McIntyre got attacked from behind, and then we saw a handicap match being put into place when McIntyre and asked Adam Pearce to book the match. Again, throughout the match, guys, in the handicap match, it was Drew McIntyre looked strong against Mace and Tbar, and then it got put into a tag team match when Strowman entered himself in, and again it looked strong from there. So again, a good match. There was a good promo from both ends, and Mace and Tbar did look strong in that match. They looked like an actual threat to McIntyre, and again, it was what it was, guys. Entertaining from both ends. And we move on to the Miz versus Damien. Well, again, Strowman, McIntyre, Mace and Tbar. I'll give that a Contenders Corner match rating here on the Contenders Corner a 3.7 out of 5. And then we have The Miz versus Damian Priest. The Miz was out next with Maurice for an episode of Miz TV. John Morrison was nowhere to be seen as Miz started talking about making Bad Bunny a household name. He even took credit for Bunny's tour selling out. He and Maurice also bragged about their reality show's ratings. They flirted with each other and kissed. Fireworks went off in the Thunderdome. The Miz plugged up oncoming WWE documentary about him and tried to propose a toast to him, but Damian Priest interrupted. The Archer of Infamy made a joke about The Miz being about as real of a fighter as Jake Paul before he mocked him for losing his pants last week. Maurice ended up accepting a challenge on her husband's behalf. Priest started off strong, immediately put the A-lister on defence. A distraction from Maurice allowed The Miz to throw him into the barricade. He nailed Priest with a double axe handle for the top rope and a series of punches. Priest blocked the it kicks with an elbow strike and hit a senton for the middle rope. After kicking out of a dirty pin, Priest hit his finisher for the win, and we'll give this a 3 out of 5. And then this is what we're talking about, guys. Asuka versus Charlotte. And Charlotte gave a promo during the first hour where she called the women backstage rats who don't actually look like each other. And it was a strong promo, guys. Asuka and Rhea Ripley came out, but nothing much happened from there. The Queen and the Empress finally met in the main event of the evening. They locked up and came to a stalemate a few times before Asuka finally took control with some kicks to the body. Charlotte avoided a hip strike and nailed her with a boot to the face. Both men went down hard after a net breaker on the apron. It was hard to tell who was supposed to come out on top in that one. We will return from a break moments before Asuka began to build some momentum. She hit a nice German suplex and a running kick for a close 2 count. Charlotte avoided the Asuka lock and applied the figure 8. Ripley caused her to break the hold with the ref was checking on Asuka, and that allowed the Empress to roll Charlotte for the win. The Queen attacked the official after the match and beat him down. Even 2 other refs couldn't make her stop until she wanted to. And again, like her father, Charlotte was born to be a heel. She is so much better at it than she is at being a baby face, and she was much more valuable as an obstacle for another face to overcome, because the Queen will never be an underdog. These two have great chemistry as opponents, but there were a few moments when it looked like they were trying to rush things, leading to a couple of minor mistakes. For the most part of this match, they looked good. Seeing Rhea Ripley circle the ring like a shark, eyeing her prey, gave the bout an extra level of unpredictability. You can never tell if she is going to attack or just keep watching these two beat each other up. It was a good match back to back. On any other night, the way this match ended would have been fine, but this week featured too many disqualifications and instances of interference. This was a weak show with only a few highlights worth talking about, and again, this was one of the parts of this Raw show that was worth talking about, guys. And all eyes on it, guys. You know, Charlotte Flair beating down an official. Fantastic, guys. Fantastic. And we'll give this a 4 out of 5 on the Contenders Corner match rating. And again, thank you again for tuning in to the Contenders Corner podcast, where we love to talk everything that is wrestling. So yes, guys, thank you for tuning in to the Contenders Corner podcast, and we will be back, well, with a review of the Impact Rebellion. We've also got SmackDown as well on the way. But again, let us know in your comments below, guys. what were your thoughts of this week's Raw? Did you think it was lackluster? Did you think it was not as good? To be honest, guys, Raw is he's getting stale. He's getting stale lately. Raw is getting very quite stale, guys. But again, this is our new shirt that we're rocking, and that is Let's Talk Wrestling on the Contenders Corner podcast. And again, guys, we will be selling some shirts as we get bigger. But for now, we're just keeping it. We're promoting these shirts on our videos. But again, thanks for tuning in. Like, share, subscribe if you're new to this channel, and support us here on YouTube. And as always, stay awesome.